course, the heat goes off after she's finished. Where we are in our new space, and it's a new year, we had decided to ask all these wonderful poets if they would write a specific poem for new beginnings, transitions, new year, new space, new clean slates, whatever. And you're going to hear them all tonight. But then Linda Werbner, who has performed at the Bluebird, could not be here, so she asked me if I would read this in absentia. So pretend I'm Linda and I have lots of red hair. So anyway, so this is called Here. And it's in reference to, there's a poet named Osip Mandelstam, who was a Russian poet, so you'll hear his name. Here. Where can I hide in January, lamented the doomed poet, Osip Mandelstam. Where can I hide in January? The poet asked the cold, dark night and the indifferent stars and the bleeding moon. 87 years have passed since that poet asked that question. And now we gather tonight in January, poets, musicians, beloved listeners, across the universe and across the ages. We say to Mandelstam, we say to you all, here. Here is sanctuary. Here in this sacred new space. Here. This is where poetry and music live. Here. Tonight, we sanctify our new home, and we've traveled up and down 97 and 133 under that wolf moon to commune in harmonious fellowship. January, the coldest and darkest month of the year, we have made this a warm space, a happy place, and a safe and accessible place for all. Our namesake, the Bluebird, a tiny but resilient thrush, bringer of happiness, winters in Florida, but will return in March as the purple crocus raises its head from the cold, hard ground. Here.
Hi, everybody. So good to see you. I mean, and to feel you and to breathe with you and in this beautiful new place. New beginnings. Time to begin again. Again. The song belongs to the silence. The silence belongs to the sound. The dark earth belongs to the sunlight. The sunlight belongs to the ground. And the green, and the green, and the green, and the green, and the green goes over and over. Give the love, give the love, give the love, the lasting pleasure. Give it in full measure. Find the fruit, be at the special spot. Beat the drum, be here, be there. Beware, be here and there again, again and once again, begin again, begin again. Wear it, bear it. We are it. What else do we have? We do desire it.
Now we have David Somerset. Thank you. Eliz is going to be back later on in the program, so.
That's good, thanks. Well, it's good to be back, and back to the Bluebird. This is called Clean Slate. Ruthless leaders rule by destruction, subjugate through terror and might, steal wealth from the impoverished, people at each other's throats, controlled by narratives of division, humanity lost in the ruins, truth strangled by tyranny. The best intentions always mask the completely corrupt. This is the continuum of our history. Our planet has survived 5 mass extinction events. The human race has survived war, disease, natural disasters, and so far, nuclear weapons. So much is broken and withered. Old and new ways have failed us. Resilience is our last resource. The hearts of others and their course cannot be changed by us, but we can turn away from perpetual degradation. Survival plus courage and imagination allows us to look for more. Creation is the only true transition from destruction. With a clean slate before us, how shall we begin? Thank you.
This is a flash fiction story. Oh, Zan! And I just changed my name to Zan recently, back in March. Glad you asked, actually. It was a new beginning for me. I went to a leadership meeting for the weekend, and I was always known as Suzanne or Susie, and I was pretty much seatbelt Susie. I was a sailor, and I knew all the safety protocols. I was really safe. Seatbelt Susie. And when I went to that leadership program, we had the name tags. I wrote down Suzanne, I ripped it up, threw it away. Wrote down Susie, ripped it up. I'm like, I want to be brave. I want to share my stories. I want to be more in vein with my art. So I wrote down Zan. For the whole weekend, people were calling me Zan. It was so cool. It was so cool. And it just stuck. So, Zan. So this is a flash fiction story, and flash fiction are itty-bitty small little stories. And this one's geared towards children, and it's the newness, the beginning, no matter what happens in life. Keep going, begin again and again. So, tiny being. I'm cold, cried the tiniest seed, hidden, buried deep beneath earth. Rotting is a rotten thing, yelped the decomposing leaves, once shimmering up on limbs of glory, now rejected, quiet, and dismissed. This is hard to accept, the crushed acorn sniffled, disheveled and not seeking help, and solo, not by choice. Well, quiet down, whispered the wise worm. In due time, we too shall have our day, like the amazing burst of springtime blooming. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Lee. Happy New Year to everyone. Poem for tonight is called It's a Struggle. As a butterfly emerges from his cocoon after a long metaphorical slumber, he perches himself upon his former bed and breakfast, from whence he enjoyed a respite from his career as a construction worker incurred in a previous life. He's been enjoying an approximate 2-week vacation of non-stop beauty sleep, filled with dreams perhaps of flutterbuying amongst the colorful pollinated flowers, beckoning his senses. Finally, upon escape from his self-induced isolation, he must face a cruel world that would love to make him a quick meal, or perhaps a tasty appetizer. But first, he must hang for a while at his now condemned tenant building in order to find the strength to launch on his merry way without the benefit of an updated navigation system, using just his antiquated antenna array with no cable. To forgo his pre-flight protocol, especially without checking his ailerons, called wings by non-aviation population, would result in a catastrophic nosedive, resulting in an almost certain death. Our lepidopteran's arduous metamorphosis from caterpillar to butterfly is a captivating narrative of rebirth, culminating in a long fueling process upon his self-extraction, filling his wings with blood and then waiting for hours till they dry prior to takeoff. It is this struggle of his pre-launch flight which is imperative to the success of a short takeoff launch, reminiscent of the great Captain Sully. The success of the butterfly to flutter by is incumbent on facing and overcoming the obstacles faced by a world that seemingly has set him up for failure. We must be like the butterfly and accept our struggles as the biofuel to overcome the adversities that attempt to crash land us before we can obtain cruising altitude. The struggle is the fertilizer that is the element that increases productivity, enhances internal growth, and allows us to spread our glorious wings. Thank you.
Hello? Okay. So my name is Giaour, my pronouns are he, him, his, and I want everyone to know that I was on time, but I got pulled over for speeding. So technically, I was the first one here. The cop was very nice when I told him that I was one of the poets in the show. So before I read my poem, which is called New Moon, the poet that was mentioned at the very beginning of this beginnings reading, Osip Mandelstam, was a Russian poet, wrote exclusively in Russian, spoke Russian, would have considered himself nothing but Russian, and was born and raised in the Ukraine. Like many other Ukrainian Russian poets at the time, he moved to St. Petersburg and again would never have considered himself anything but Russian. But in 1939, many of Mandelstam's contemporaries in Odessa, which is the city where he was born and raised, were rounded up and executed for the crime of writing and publishing poetry in Ukrainian. So, for a poet like Mandelstam, for a serious Jewish poet like Mandelstam, not being considered Ukrainian would have been very important. So I only say that to just impress upon everyone that this conflict that seems like it came out of nowhere to many of us did not come out of nowhere, has been brewing and has had many chapters. And this is just the latest chapter in a very long and complicated conflict. So my poem has nothing to do with that, but I had to be that. So my poem is called New Moon. Isolated. The illusion of silence, like some kind of advanced game. Gold, the headlights, the moonlight phenomenon, the car, the inanimate home. The solitude is thrilling, open and dysfunctional. Fantastic waves broken on an imaginary island. I am alone, still and forgotten in the shadow of the steering wheel's arc. The line of brake lights magnifies just how far there is to go. Cruel and overwhelming, like the smell of hair in the rain. Am I useful, faithful, fictional? I want to be all of these things, even when I end up weeping at the table, requesting colder, drier weather. I imagine the warrior's arms, and I am ashamed of my desire for them, for you. My wanting you has made me strident, bestial, masculine. Everyone says I'm cold, and they're right. My heart is noisy with mourning. Love oils the meat of its bitter mechanism. The wolf never misses the moon, but it's new tonight. the blank sky inviting anything, the silence of the pack ringing like an invitation. What will I dare to think? Tonight, what will I dare to want?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. We're going to get set up for our next performers, and I'm just going to take a couple seconds.
Thank you.